Alright, everybody, so guess what? Apparently, military spending, global military spending, is at an all-time high, a record high, since the end of the Cold War. Uh, According to SIPRI, which is, pardon me, SIPRI, which is the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, said overall global military spending in 2018 hit 1.82 trillion, up 2.6% on the previous year. That is the highest figure since 1988, when such data first became available as the Cold War began winding down. U.S. military spending rose 4.6% last year to reach $649 billion, leaving it still by far the world's biggest spender. It accounted for 36% of total global military expenditure, nearly equal to the following 8 biggest spending countries combined. China, which is second in that order, has risen 5.0% to $250 billion last year, which is the 24th consecutive annual increase. Whew, damn, China. That's a lot of dough being put in your military. That's actually a little scary. In 2018, the USA and China accounted for half the world's military spending. Good grief. You know, I really gotta say, this seems totally unnecessary. This is crazy to me, honestly. This is absolutely crazy. And with Trump's commitment to a strong national defense, this is not going to end anytime soon. This, to me, seems really crazy, really stupid. What do we even need all this shit for? I mean, really, what's this increase in spending for? For the unexpected, I suppose? You know, as much as people like to complain about welfare and illegal immigrants being a drain on our economy, an even bigger drain is the runaway military budget, which no one has done anything about and has been going on since the late 80s. But the increase in U.S. spending was driven by the implementation from 2017 of new arms procurement programs under the Trump administration. According to Audi Fleurant, I think, AUDEFLEURANT, as the director of SIPRI Amex program. The other major spenders in declining order being Saudi Arabia, of course, India, France, Russia, Britain, Germany, Japan, and South Korea. Saudi Arabia, which is leading a military coalition battling Iran-aligned Houthis in Yemen, was the biggest per capita spender on defense, just ahead of the United States. Well, for Saudi Arabia, it actually makes sense. Saudi Arabia has legitimate enemies and is under an actual threat. I swear our government's spending shit on spending this crap, all this money on defense for shits and giggles. What do we even need that crap for at the moment? None of our actual enemies are strong enough to actually hurt us. I suppose if we keep spending it, then it'll guarantee that it'll continue to be the case. But we can't sustain these kind of levels forever. It's gonna have a detrimental effect, I'm sure. But additional SIPRI data showed military spending equaled 1.2% of the GDP in Germany, Europe's largest economy. Last year, on GDP estimates from 2018 from the International Monetary Fund, Britain and France, the other two largest economies in Europe, spent 1.8% and 2.3% GDP respectively on defense in 2018. And this all has to do with NATO and certain NATO standards for defense spending. And Trump has even gone so far as to criticize some of our NATO allies in Europe, especially Germany, for failing to meet the alliance's spending target of 2% of gross domestic product. 2%. Good fucking grief. I can understand Saudi Arabia, but us? What actual threats are we facing that justifies this kind of expenditure? Just a few arbitrary standards in fucking NATO? I'm sorry, but to me that seems like a really stupid, shallow reason. It doesn't matter. That's pure bureaucracy. It's the purest form of bureaucracy. I mean, I can understand if someone might argue saying that it's like, oh, if we want to stay ahead of our enemies, then we have to keep up with the with military technology. Yeah, do you remember the incident where the United States military is trying to build the legendary Zoom Vault class ship, which was unnecessarily expensive and impractical to build a sufficient number because of their expense. Just one ship cost billions. Good fucking grief. Oh, and don't even get me started on that Gerald R. Ford class bullshit where they can load it up with fucking lasers and shit. Good God. And when are we ever going to use it? Like, really? It's like, why do we even need that shit? None of the enemies this country actually has even capable of launching anything that ship would be good for. God, it's like they're expending money just for the sake of spending money. It drives me insane. You know, it's just the same old shit. It's our runaway military budget. Only now it's being further encouraged by fucking NATO. No, maybe I'm too frugal. I actually am quite frugal. But in the end, I'm just like, I still don't see any reason why we need this crap. I mean, I understand a country needing a military for self-defense. With each passing day, I envy Switzerland all the more. Anyway,